Morning, it's Patsy. I've come on today because I'm going to start a new series. I thought I'd do once a week. I would revisit an old deck. Most of the decks I'd say have probably been on here. There's probably a few that haven't been put on here as a walkthrough or whatever, or I haven't mentioned. But I thought I'd start revisiting old decks and sort of do a bit of a walkthrough and how I find them and what I use them for and that kind of thing. Because unboxings and that are great, but sometimes it's nice to know how people work with them. So I thought that I'd come on today and start the series off, and I'm going to start it with my one and only indie deck. I don't have any other indie decks. This is the only indie deck I have, and I bought this sometime last year. I bought it for a specific reason. I bought it for specific ancestry work because of the images and what have you. I have used them for spirit work too, but I've never used them as a real tarot. But I knew that when I bought it, and it's the Stretch Tarot. I haven't got the box with me because it's in a bag. The box is at home, but I believe it's by Joseph Stretch, I believe. But if you're interested, if you put Stretch Tarot into Google, it'll bring it up. It comes just in a cardboard flip box, and I don't believe there was a little white book with it either. I'm sure there wasn't. There could have been, but if it was very thin, because I don't even remember it. But that's the back of them. That's the back of them. It's lovely cardstock. It's a matte cardstock, and they're not overly thick, but they're bendy, but they're not thin. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them at all, but some people may find them thin. Probably a bit like a Llewellyn cardstock, I'd say, but probably not quite as flimsy, because I know some Llewellyn is paper thin. But yes, so like I said, I don't mind it, but it's not the thickest, but it's fine for me. And I think I paid around the £35 mark, or I paid 25, but then they went up to 35, but it's around that kind of, so it's not too badly priced for an indie deck. So here we go. Look, this is the full, and the style of these is very Victorian, Georgian, sort of that kind of era, up to the Second World War sort of thing. That kind of feel to them. They're not modern images as such. They are all, and that's the reason why I bought them. So this is the full. Then we have the Magician. One thing, well, I'll say that when I get there. The High Priestess. But these cards, when I saw them, I think I saw Nina from Shuffle Tarot using these, and she used them for, I think she was using them for a spirit reading, and they just spoke to me. So there's the Empress, and so I went ahead and I got it. There's the Emperor, the Hierophant, and then we have the Lovers. See what I mean about the feel of the cards are, you know, very oldie, Victorian, Georgian, whatever, that kind of period. Then we have the Chariot. Then we have the Strength. Then we have the Hermit. I love the Hermit card in this deck. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune. Now this one comes up for me quite a lot, but on one side of my ancestry, on my dad's side in particular, they come from the Nottingham area, and they was all spinners and weavers, and in the industry, the silk industry and all that kind of thing. And when this comes up, it's usually because I'm connecting with somebody on a female on my dad's side of the family. Then we have Justice. We have the Hanged Man. See, I found these really intuitive. There's the Death card. It's just the skull and the flowers. And we have the Temperance. And the Devil. Tower. And the Star. The Moon. I love the Moon card in this deck too. and the Sun. 1920s feel to these. Then we have Judgment, the transformation I love, you know, the death, then, you know, the period of regrowth and then emerging. I love that. The World. So that is the majors in the deck. So I'll now go on to the cup suit. Now the thing with these is they do have I don't know if you can see at the top, they do have a little keyword, like Ace of Cups says fulfillment, Two of Cups says unity. So they've all got a little keyword on the top, but I don't find them, Three is abundance, I don't find them obtrusive or even stand out or anything like that. You forget they're there, to be fair. So if you don't want to use the keywords, you know, then they don't really stand out and get in the way. Then we have the Five of Cups. The Six of Cups is pleasure. I love this image too. The Seven of Cups is temptation. You see here, and the alcohol, temptation. The Eight of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is his very sort of gangster style, isn't he? That sort of 1930s, 40s era. Then we have the Ten of Cups. The Page of Cups. The courts also have a keyword at the top, and that one is opportunity for the Knight of Cups. And then we have the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. And I don't know if you noticed, but most of the cup suits, well, all of the cup suits, I'll try and hold them up, do have, oh, I'm dropping them, that blue over colour. Different shades of blue. I mean, that's probably the only one with black, but they all have some kind of blue colouring within the card, so you know you've got the cup suit. So we're then going on to the swords. Now with the swords, we have the Ace, which is for victory. Then for two, we have conflict. So like I said, even if your ideas of that card don't really fit into the keyword, it's not obtrusive, it don't really jump out at you, so you wouldn't need to use it. This card comes up a lot if there's a hospital kind of environment involved. The Five of Swords, quite a disturbing image there, but that's, you know, goes with the deck. It's that with the Five of Swords, it goes with that mental energy, what's going on in your head, you know, that I can't think straight this morning, but you know what I mean, when everything is, you got this mental war thing going on in your head. And if you see the two gentlemen there, they're in like old uniforms, that kind of thing, sort of. And then the Six of Swords is, there we go, there's the Six of Swords, but that's sort of like the movement, so you still get some sort of rider weight kind of in a lot of the cards. The Seven of Swords, which is cunning. Now you've got the see no evil, hear no evil, what is it, see no evil, talk no evil, hear no evil, that kind of thing with this card for the Seven of Swords. Then the Eight of Swords, we've got interference. And now when this comes up a lot, it does indicate that, you know, there was something with all these areas, you know, with bodily sort of problems that they had in this life or whatever. Yeah. But you can also get the original meaning with the trapped bird. But like I said, I tend to use these more on an intuitive to do ancestral reading. So we've got the 9 there, and then we have the 10. And this one, to me, if you can see at the back, it's like the battlefield of the World War One, the trenches, you know, that kind of feel to this card. Then we have the Page, Then we have the Knight. Then we have the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. So that's the sword suit, and the sword suit's very dark colours, but there's a sort of all different colours, but they're all kind of quite that dark background, and that's the swords. Then we're going to go on to the Pentacles, and we've got the Eight of Pentacles for prosperity. We have the Two of Pentacles, balance in there, and it is balance as a key word. The Three of Pentacles is work, and that reminds me of, you know, a Victorian lady working in her kitchen. Then we have the Four. The Five is worry. And there's a native there with her child on her back. This one comes up for me quite a lot. A gentleman given to children. We have the Seven of Pentacles with like a little witchy girl there. Then we have the Eight, which is skill. Nine of Pentacles. Got that Middle Eastern Asian feel to that one. And the Ten of Pentacles. Then we have the Page. And that's, I don't know if you notice in this deck that even though it's the Page, Queens, Kings, they're not always of the same sex of what you expect. The Knight. The Queen. Queen of Pentacles, that one's of a feeling. And then the King. I love this card, but then I love Native American. So they're the Pentacles. So this is sort of like the colouring you get in the Pentacles. And then the last one is the Wands. This one, when I first saw it, I had to look 2 or 3 times, and it's the Ace. There you go, the Ace of Wands, and that is creation. We have the Two of Wands. I love them with the globes at the bottom of that. And then we have the Three of Wands. She looks very mystical, doesn't she? That's the Four, where the key word is completion, and it's got that phoenix feeling. And that's the Four of Wands. And then we have the Five. Completely burned out. Look, you can see the sticks are all burned. They've all gone out. They've all been alight and gone out. You know, and the butterflies are emerging, and that is strife for the Five of Wands. Then we have the Six of Wands, which is recognition. Then we have the Seven, which is valiant. You can see like an image of a soldier from the First World War. This one came up quite a bit for me as well, the Eight. And the Nine of Wands. The 10. Then the Page. The Knight. The Queen. And the King. This has come out for me before as well. So yeah, so this deck is for ancestors work, and I have done past life. I forgot to mention that past life work with these as well. They're great for past life work. So they're great for past life work. They're great for ancestry work. I think it's because of the time period of the images. And I find them really, really good for that kind of thing. I've used them a few times for spirit work, but I prefer my everyday enchantment for that. But if I'm trying to connect to loved one in spirit of an older generation, then I would use these as well. So as a particular tarot deck, like I said, I've never really used them as a standard tarot deck. Why you would have a tarot deck? I ordered them on the understanding that I was going to use them as past life work, ancestral work, and that's what I use them for. And the odd spirit reading, but that's what I bought them for. That is why they're in in my collection, because I don't normally go buying indie decks. So this is the only indie deck, and I bought it for a specific reason. And I really enjoy working with them. What I will do for you to get an idea of how I use these, I think there is a couple in my older videos. I will do a reading. I'll probably do an ancestors reading or something with this deck, and post that so you get to see how I use it in the it works sort of thing. But yeah, I love this deck. But like I said, I only use it for those specific reasons, and I find they work really, really well. So that is the Stretch Tarot. And this will be like a regular, it may be a tarot, it may be an oracle, but I will once a week choose one of my older decks, or a deck I've been using a lot, and pop on and kind of show you it, and go through it, and how I use it and what have you, and why I use it and how I'm finding it. And if you are interested in past life readings, and you are interested in doing ancestral work, then I do think these are really, really good for that kind of work. Not to say that it isn't a great working tarot. I can't say, because I don't know. I don't use it for that. But as a ancestral deck and as a past life deck, I found these to be pretty spot on, pretty superb, and I love them. So there we go. That's the Stretch Tarot, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.